Hey guys, get ready because this is a full body workout because Azula was a beast. She chased the avatar from sunup until sundown, and the only thing that stopped her was when she realized the world didn't work the way she thought it did and had a mental break. Her body never gave out on her. So let's take a look at how Azula would have trained.
Yeah, that. So while I have no illusions of being able to do that completely myself right now, I have some ideas of how we can get there. The first thing we're going to do is take it slow, because that's what we do on this channel. I'm going to give you a baseline of where you can start and then let you set your own pace. You are going to decide the sets based on your ability and your previous experience. When things are easy, go up. Increase the number of reps that you're doing. I'm also going to give you a baseline in the comments of beginner versus advanced for this workout. So thanks for joining me. Let's go to the first set. So the first thing we're going to start with is push-ups. We have to build that arm strength if we want to do what we saw Azula do at the beginning of this video. Start with regular push-ups like these, not too narrow, not too wide. Make sure that your core is tight and that you are going all the way down to the floor as far as you can before pushing back up. Make sure your elbows are in a normal alignment near your body, not pointed away from your body. We're also going to do different kinds of push-ups, so these are a little bit narrower, and for me, this is enough of a challenge. Some of you more advanced gym rats might have to do diamond push-ups or another type of narrower push-up to get a real challenge. Good for you. You can do wide push-ups in addition to these so that you're sure to work all your muscles. You can also do push-ups on your fists, which works different muscles than when you just have your hands down there. And for any of these types of push-ups, if you need to do them on your knees, there is no shame in that. You are still building the arm strength that you are going to need to do what Azula did on that trolley. Again, we are wanting to actually be healthy, so we are not pushing our bodies to the point where we actually hurt something. Adding reps as things get easier and taking things slow in that way is what's actually going to give us strength that lasts. Hopefully you have heard from coaches in your past that if you work one set of muscles, you have to work the opposing set of muscles in order to really build a healthy, sturdy strength. So here we go to pull-ups and rows since we have done push-ups already. Let me just say at the outset that it is extremely common for an adult not to be able to do an unassisted pull-up. So let Azula tell you what we should do in that case.
It's okay if a few of you weaklings have to use a chair.
Or maybe I should just explain it myself. When you use a chair, use the smallest amount of help from your foot that you need to complete the pull-up so that you'll still be building muscle. Also, do make sure to look up proper pull-up form. A while back, I was doing pull-ups incorrectly and pulled something in my shoulder for at least a week and a half. So there's that. So the first type of pull-ups that we're doing is just the regular wide grip classic pull-ups that you probably think of when you think of a pull-up. Next, we'll be working on the neutral grip pull-ups that you see here. Oh, and a quick tip about using the chair, try to alternate what foot you're using so one side of your body doesn't get more work than the other. On to the narrow grip pull-ups. And finally, go back to your classic grip, and we are just going to hang. I've worked up to 38 seconds now, and that's what feels okay to me. But you guys, you might want to start at 10 seconds if you've never done this. Also, just make sure to keep your body in the proper alignment as you hang, shoulders where they're supposed to be in the classic pull-up position. The next thing we're going to be working on is rows, and we're going to focus particularly on good form. So make sure your legs are straight, your back is strong, but it is in line with the rest of your body. Your elbows are pulled in close to your body, and as you pull forward, your shoulder blades are going to compress back as if you're trying to poke out your chest. You're going to start with the neutral grip like this and do one set, which is 10 reps, and then you'll switch to the overhand grip like this and do another set, which is 10 reps. This is what I would suggest that you start with if you're a beginner, just one set of each. But if you're like me and you've been doing it for a while, for example, I've added sets over time, so I do 3 sets of each type, which has me doing 60 rows every time I go to do rows. You can also adjust how much you're lifting by leaning yourself back further, in which case you'd be lifting more of your body weight. Of course, if you want to be lifting less, then you wouldn't lean yourself back quite as far. For the final exercise working on your arm strength, it is the handstand. So if you've never done a handstand before, you're going to want to do this one that you see me doing here. Place your hands firmly on the ground, feet on the wall, and walk up the wall backwards. Then, as you see me doing here, kind of shimmy towards the wall with your hands. Next, you'll want to make sure you have the proper form. It's complicated, look it up, but just a few tips are put your feet together, hands stacked under your shoulders, and everything is stacked on top of each other. To get down, just slowly walk out with your hands while climbing down the wall with your feet until you can hop down like that. Once you work this one a lot, and I mean a lot, and it feels natural every time, you feel like you've got the right position, then and only then move on to one where you kick up against the wall, which you can look up, and then eventually you'll move to a freestanding one. In any of the handstand positions, you can also do these handstand push-ups. I'm hardly even bending my elbows, so don't feel bad if you don't go all the way down, guys. Just work where you are and improve yourself incrementally.
And that's it, guys. That's all you have to do. This is Princess Azula we're talking about. That was just the arms.
We're moving on to core strength work. So everything Azula does involves core strength. We've already worked on it a little bit with some of those arm exercises. Tricked ya, they weren't just arms, it was also core. But of course, these are focusing more on the core. These will of course include sit-ups such as these, crunches like these. Make sure you're using your core muscles to lift you up as opposed to your neck, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't want a huge neck. Also, we have the bicycle crunches to work those side abs and adjust your armor as needed. For this one, get on all fours as if you're going to do cat-cow pose. Make sure your hands are in line with your shoulders, and you're going to alternate lifting up first your right leg, and you're really using those booty muscles to get that up there. Then your left leg. And then you are going to lift your right arm and your left leg, and your left arm and your right leg at the same time. So this is a lot of core work. Make sure that core is tight and controlled throughout the duration of this move. Practicing moves like these will give you that lean strength. Guys, you don't have to be big to be strong. We're going to add to this one a simple plank pose to hold. Then you're going to do the same thing we did on all fours and lift up the legs alternately. It's working those booty muscles again. Now we're taking it up a notch. You're going to lift up alternating arms and legs in plank position. Also, excuse how little I could hold this. I feel like this cosplay was just sapping my strength, which must mean that plainclothes Azula is an absolute beast. We're going to give those side abs a little more love, and we are going to do side planks. So make sure whatever you do on one side, do on the other. Next, working on the legs, we are going to start with a simple squat. As when you're doing any type of squat, you don't want that booty popping out there. Give us a neutral spine. You can also do narrower squats like this to work slightly different muscles. So the next thing we're going to look at to work on leg strength is a series of yoga poses. It's warrior 1, 2, reverse warrior, and side angle pose that you will see modeled here. Notice how the front leg is at a 90-degree angle and the back foot is turned slightly in. Once again, plain clothes Azula does it better since a sweatshirt is a little more malleable than armor. These poses can also be helpful when you go to channel lightning. For the first exercise under our cardio section, we are doing martial arts. So if you already know how to do a type or two of martial arts, you could do it to music, and that could be a really great cardio workout. But if you're new to all of this, I just want you to look up some how-to videos and just go nuts. Just have a great time, because we are not actually an evil nationalistic villain wanting to oppress all other cultures under our rule. We are just some people looking to get a good workout and have a good time doing it. As for what style is closest to Azula's actual martial arts style, I would say Changshen seems like it, or Wushu, which I will link both of those in the comments along with a good YouTuber that can walk you through some tutorials of these martial arts. The next type of cardio activity we're going to do is running, because Azula was always chasing down the avatar and never slowed, and you don't have to either. Unless your body's telling you to, in which case, we should, because on this channel we're healthy. But other than that, you've got to pursue that avatar. For all my beginners, I want you to start running 5 minutes a day. That's right, just 5 minutes a day. When that gets easy, add a minute. When that gets easy, add a minute, and so forth and so on. My advanced runners, do what you've been doing with your running, the distance that you've been going, and then when that gets easy, I want you to add a half mile. And then when that gets easy, I want you to add a half mile. And I would suggest that whether you're a beginner or an advanced runner, that you alternate running and walking. So I would suggest something like running for 2 minutes, walking for 2 minutes, alternate, and you can go farther and it feels a whole lot better. You feel more accomplished by the end of it. The moment you've all been waiting for. That's right, stretches. No, seriously, even evil nationalistic terrors have to stretch after a good workout of chasing down the heroes. You have to do stretches after you work out if you want to maintain good physical health. This will ensure that you have the ability to keep getting stronger with as few injuries as possible. So let's get going. After working on push-ups and pull-ups and rows and handstands, you've got to stretch your arms and neck. For this first one here, you're going to step up to the wall closely with the side of your foot touching the wall, and your arm is stretched out behind you on the wall. You just get closer to the wall until you feel the stretch and hold each side for about 15 seconds. Here is a good series of arm stretches to work on, holding each for 15 seconds. Make sure to do both sides, and keep in mind that if you feel any pain when you're stretching, you've gone too far, so go back a little ways. It's okay if you can't stretch extremely far right now. It's okay if you're not very flexible. I started 10 to 12 years ago, and I couldn't even touch my toes, so I've made it a long ways. You can too. Take it slow. Now this stretch is an amazing stretch for after you do push-ups and other things that work your upper back and neck and arms, but it looks a little tricky. It's not actually. You're going to take your right hand over your left and kind of twirl it around your left hand until your palms meet. And then you should feel the stretch in your shoulders and your upper back. You can, if you need the stretch to be more intense, you can kind of push your elbows up a little higher, out maybe half an inch more. Just do some experiments with it. And remember, as you see me doing here, to tilt your head into it, get your neck into this stretch so that we work out those muscles as well. Again, this is a great stretch for after having done push-ups, and make sure to do it on both sides, of course. But a little side note here, I am double jointed in my elbows, so if your arm stretches don't look exactly like mine, please don't fret. This is a great one for alleviating some stiffness in those wrists that we used a whole lot while doing push-ups, pull-ups, pretty much all the arm things. This is just a great one for opening up your arms and chest. Do it first with your palms facing the wall across from you and next with your palms facing the wall behind you. Now we're just going to do several where we're working from standing down to the floor. And this one is a great one to start with. It's good to stretch those calf muscles. For the next one, we are working on the side splits. And what you're going to want to make sure to do is turn those toes inward, not outward, because that can damage your knees. And just practice. If it's easy, you can lean down and get a deeper stretch like I'm doing there. And just practice every day until you can go farther and farther over time. And now we're doing the classic Goku stretch, which as you can see, I can't go down very far, but I'm working on it. So really with the bent leg, you're doing almost like a squat. So the same type of muscles you'll use for a squat, you use on the bent leg. And don't go farther than you feel that you can. When you feel that muscle in the back of the leg that's being stretched, begin to pull a little bit. Next, we're going to work on our regular splits. So put that leg out there at a 90-degree angle. And then you should feel the stretch in your back leg and hip. Now you're simply going to place your hands on the floor to sink a little deeper into that back leg and hip. If it feels good, you can flex your toes and fold open that bent leg a little bit, but if it doesn't, keep it the way it is. Now straighten that right leg, flex your toes, and lean down, chest forward, until you feel the stretch in the back of your leg. And now we actually do the splits, or at least we try to. So you're going to inch that right leg forward and the other leg back until you feel the stretch. You might breathe a little bit here and be able to sink further down with each breath, but don't stretch until it hurts. Of course, whatever you do on one side, you have to do on the other, so go ahead and do that. And then afterwards, you'll go into a nice child's pose. Make sure to breathe deeply and relax here before you get back up to continue your stretches. Sit cross-legged and take a deep breath in before turning to your left and looking over your left shoulder. You should feel this twist gently in your lower back. Coming back to the center, take a deep breath in and do the same on your other side. Now you're going to extend your right arm out and turn your head to the left, making sure to work into all of those stiff, tight places in your neck. Now just take some gentle neck circles at your own pace. Now we're going to work the rest of the way down to the floor. So get on all fours and do cat-cow. On an inhale, look up. And on an exhale, arch your back like a cat. Now we're going to thread your left hand under your right and place your head on the floor. If this is enough of a stretch in your shoulder and neck, that's fine, or you can wrap your other hand around your back as you saw me do here. Then do the same on the other side. Now we're going to turn your hands around so that your fingertips are facing your knees, and then lean back onto your knees until you feel the stretch. Now you're going to spread your knees and work your way down into frog stretch. Make sure to do all of these stretches on both sides. I just clipped them together faster so that you didn't have to watch 20 minutes of me stretching. You're welcome. After you've stretched both sides, come back to the middle and stretch out again and straddle. Before the end, I'd like to plug something that's very healthy for your body, but is optional. Before you start this workout, if you want to do some mobility stretches, it would be really good for the health of your joints. So there is one video in particular that I really like that really makes my body feel good. It makes it feel strong and ready for these types of exercises, and I will link that video in the description. And now, a little word of motivation from the supervillain herself.
I hope you had fun training like me. Even though I know you won't reach my level, it's fun to watch you try. Comment below to learn some tips from the master of this workout. Who knows, you may not be the most powerful bender in the Fire Nation, but with my help, you could be the most powerful in your gym.